Hey, wellness warriors, do you set low expectations for yourself or maybe even encourage other people to lower the bar for you? Or maybe you worry that other people will be disappointed in you if you quote fail or that they're going to lose their faith in you or their value that they have for you. And so you end up playing it safe. Or maybe you procrastinate with busy work and you spend all your time on stuff that's more comfortable or that makes you sort of play small and really never get to the stuff that actually sort of puts you out there. Or maybe you experience physical symptoms that prevent you from performing or from completing tasks that make you more visible. Maybe you experience stomach aches, headaches, nausea, and so you end up not doing the things that cause those potential physical symptoms. So again, you're kind of playing it safe. Does that sound like you? If yes, you're in the right place. No worries, I've got you covered. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 4 ways that you can start to fix or release your fear of failure. Hi, I'm Laura Albers. I'm the Clear Your Plate coach. I am a business coach, a mindset coach, a mental health therapist, and a master certified wellness coach with the International Association of Wellness Professionals. And I work with female health and wellness coaches to help them overcome their mindset challenges, their fears, like fear of failure. That's why we're talking about this. And other fears and blocks and sort of bad habits that get in their way. And instead, I teach them the business strategies that they need to build the wellness coaching business of their dreams. So thank you so much for joining me on this video today. All right, so let's dive into fear of failure. So when we think about fear of failure, it's really about this, we're motivated essentially to avoid failing, not just because we can't manage these basic emotions of disappointment and frustration when we fail or when in our heads we think we could fail, but it's actually more so because that it also brings up deep shame and humiliation. And that's what we tend to actually seek more to avoid. And again, often this is more so in our head. We may have had some kind of experience with, quote, failure in our eyes in the past, but for many of us, we've never even experienced true failure, but yet we still experience that fear. And so again, in this video, I really want to highlight 4 ways to defeat this fear so you can live more boldly and claim the life of your dreams. All right, so step number 1, my fix the fear formula. Step number 1 is to identify it, own it, and normalize it. Okay, so, first of all, it's so important just to remember and sort of give yourself some compassion and grace that it's normal to feel nervous and anxious, especially before doing something new or something, that we don't have a lot of competence in, because again, it's something typically that's newer for us. So let me give you an example. Totally hypothetical, but let's just pretend for a moment that I was a little nervous or anxious creating this video. So what I would want to do instead is just kind of own it, just kind of say, I'm getting ready to create this video and I'm feeling kind of anxious. I'm feeling a little nervous. I'm worried a little bit what other people are going to think. And that's totally okay. I know that that's a normal, human experience anytime I'm doing something that's a little bit new. But what I want to focus on is the fact that I'm doing, why I'm doing this. So I'm doing this because I'm hoping it will help someone else. And if I can help just one other person, then it's all worth it to me. And so if I can, shift my focus a bit to owning it, to normalizing it, and then just to continue forward and really focus on my why and the benefit that maybe other people will get, and remember that it gets easier each time, then that gives me enough courage to kind of go through with it. So that's step number 1, is to identify, own it, and normalize it. Step number 2 is to focus on what you can control. So in this example with this YouTube video, what I can control is whether I, wrote a script for it, or I can control, my lighting, my sound, my audio, things like that. So I can do the best I can. I can practice, right? So I'm going to do the things or focus on the things that I can control to hopefully make it at least or as most likely as possible that I'm going to have success with it. Okay, so that's step number 2, is to really focus on what you can control. Step number 3 to defeat fear of failure is to adopt the mantra. This is my favorite mantra: feel the fear, and do it anyway. Okay, I love this mantra. I have absolutely been living this mantra so much in the past, few years since starting my business. And I hope it's something that maybe you'll consider as well. And it's actually something that I keep posted on my computer so that I'm continually reminded that fear is going to be with me, or fear is going to be with you on your journey, especially if it's something new. So fear is going to be there with you. But if we think about it being a journey, it's that we just don't want fear driving the car, okay? So we want fear maybe in the back seat, or better yet in the trunk, right? Because it's going to be with you on this journey, on this road trip, if you will. But you want to remain in the driver's seat as much as possible. Okay, so it's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And side note, there's a fantastic book with this same title, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, by Dr. Susan Jeffers, that I highly, highly recommend. All right, so that's step number 3, is adopting the mantra, feel the fear and do it anyway. All right, the final step I want to share with you, or the final fix today, fix number 4, is to play out both scenarios. So often we usually just think of worst case scenarios, right? And we kind of stop with that. We just think of what's the worst possible thing that's going to happen. And we really, get creative with this. And we spend a lot of time often with this in our head, really imagining that this is definitely going to happen and that this is the only option. And we sort of forget that there's a best case scenario and there's a lot of gray area in between. So what I want to encourage you to do is to really spend a little bit more time on the best case scenario, or even the gray in between worst case and best case scenario. And I have a few questions that you can ask yourself to really get clear on this. And I'm going to encourage you, because there's quite a few questions, I'm going to encourage you to, press pause, write these down, take some notes, and see what comes to mind, especially if right now you're sort of considering something that you'd like to do that's new for you. Maybe it's starting your own business, or quitting your job, or, asking for a raise, or, you're going to do a YouTube video or something like that. So here's some questions that you can ask yourself to sort of help you to get a little bit clearer on the fear and to also guide you in thinking of the best case scenario. Okay, so one of the questions you can ask is, what is my ultimate fear? Okay, what is my ultimate fear? What am I imagining will happen? And then what? And you want to keep playing out that then what until you get to like the deepest, darkest root fear. And for most of us, that deepest, darkest root fear is fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, maybe fear of loss, okay, which can feel scary. So then it's important to ask yourself, what will I do if this deepest fear happens? And, what is maybe one thing I can do to make this least likely to happen? Have I been through situations like this before, especially where I was able to, be okay, or to recover, or to bounce back? Here's another question that I love, which is, what is the risk in not taking action? So often we don't really think about that, but what is the risk or the downside in not taking the action? And then what is the best case scenario? Okay, so really spend some time with that, imagining that and visualizing that best case scenario. And then lastly, what is one thing I can do to make that best case scenario more likely to happen? All right, so I hope, thinking about their fear of failure and sort of really what the root cause is, and really looking at answering some of the questions that I posed today, and also really implementing some of these shifts, some of the 4 shifts that I mentioned today, really helps you to release this fear of failure and instead really see everything that you do, especially everything new, as learning and growing and improving. And really, what's so scary about that? All right, so thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave you with the words of Marie Forleo, who I just love. The world needs that special gift that only you have. So let's release the fear of failure. Get out there, be brave, and be bold. Thanks for watching. For other bite-sized wellness tips, check out my website at www.alberswellness.com, where you can also get signed up for my free 7-day self-care challenge. And also, you'll see in the comments below, if you're interested in becoming a wellness coach or a health coach, check out in the comments below. There's a free wellness kit from the International Association of Wellness Professionals, or the IAWP. If you don't see it in the notes below, feel free to email me at laura@alberswellness.com. I'd be more than happy to send it to you. So thanks again for watching. Please share this with anybody that you know that might benefit from releasing their fear of failure. All right, bye for now.